Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's wonderful to be here today, and I want to make this what I hope will be very supportive videos for you. Video, and this video is about how to stand in a tough times, how to stay strong, and how to be less affected or even detached and separated from critics while you are building your own life. A lot of times, when I talk to people in my consulting um, sessions, we talk about the challenges, and very often, people sharing how painful it is to make adjustments in your personal life and having absolutely nobody on your side. A lot of times, that is the situation, that is the issue. Um, if you have been married before and you have your ex-wife, for example, or ex-husband, a lot of times you feel that somehow you have to do better this time and you can screw up, and oh my gosh, what's they gonna think about my new wife or new woman. A lot of times, you have the other things that are also unhealthy. You're trying to compete and get a prettier, a younger one, a smarter one. These are all very, very unhealthy things, because in the end they can lead us away from the very purpose of being happy and fulfilled without needing validation from others. A lot of people who have been in relationships before and have been married before felt a lot of heartache and broken heart and um, pain from not getting the validation that they wanted, not getting recognition for efforts, not getting appreciation. And it goes both ways, it's not, it's really gender neutral thing. So, talking about support, each time we are going through something new, we're going through the challenge, I think it's mostly important to know your why. A lot of people, you will have a lot of quote unquote friends that will tell you things like, oh, so you are dating a Ukrainian again. Interesting. Aren't your previous marriage ending in divorce? Or how is that you so easily things that you can just go there and someone for some reason gonna fall in love with you? What's so special about it? Is it this? Isn't it enough of women in the United States for you to choose? You shouldn't have to go overseas and find somebody. So people would always give in their perspectives on things. Most of time they say this because they don't have the courage to do things. They do not have the courage to maybe even end relationships that are looking good to public, but they're very unhappy. Um, a lot of times, I have to just admit this because I live in the Midwest. A lot of times, women completely give up about their appearance and things like that, and they don't want to date anymore when they're in relationships because they feel like, well, this is my husband, he's going nowhere. So a lot of people in a stale relationships are gonna try to put you down. They're gonna say, hey, you already done this, it didn't work, you had a divorce. This whole shame on people about the divorce is a whole different topic. To me, I feel that good couples do not break apart. Things that were meant to be together for life will never break apart. If you had the situation that you had to separate with somebody, it probably was the best decision, and nobody has the right to judge you. Most of people in their adult life been at least through 1 to 3 major breakups. Divorce sounds like more scary because it might I mean, it usually involves some legal things, but to say overall about breakups, they happen, and sometimes we go through them to learn about ourselves. A lot of times, we know very little about ourselves before we go through some challenges. We discover another person through the challenges. So it is very easy to hurt somebody when they feel vulnerable, when you feel vulnerable enough. Maybe you still have pain from your previous relationships, but you feel like, life is continuing. There are other 7 billion whatever people on the planet, and you want to give yourself a chance. You want to try to connect with people and build your confidence. There is nothing wrong with that. Those people who tell you about that, oh, you've already been married to Ukrainian woman, what's it about? They would never tell you, oh, you already have been married to an American woman. Are you crazy to date another American? They would never tell you that. Once again, people who criticize you, they usually tells us out of their own fears, out of lack of courage, out of lack of taking being honest and taking control of their life, because I was thinking about separations and divorces, and as painful as they are, usually they lead both people to something better, usually because things were not working out and people at least were honest about it. This is the thing, if you are married unhappily and people see you on Facebook or they see you publicly and you like blah blah blah, I'm so happy, that's fine. If you married unhappily but you happy in public, that's great. You can live like this all your life. People be the you know the gossipers would be happy about you, or just the social circle. If you live in the truth with your heart, and the person you were in love with maybe turned out to be a different person, maybe had changed and evolved with time, maybe could not withstand the life storms and gave up. It can be a number of reasons. Maybe you were not prepared to go through certain things, and you realize that you growing apart. Whatever reasons that might be, it's not anybody's business. And in the end of the day, you live in with your honesty. I think that when people file for divorce, when they know that the social pressure, the children, the maybe division of property, they have to go through all of that. It's extremely painful and scary. That's why a lot of people that we're looking at the couples and they look like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be that. A lot of very good looking on public couples, and it's always nice to believe, and there are definitely people who are genuinely happy and just having a good healthy environment. Doesn't mean they don't have problems, but a lot of times what happens, people just don't lack the courage to be honest. So for those of you guys who feel very vulnerable and feel in so much pain because you feel like you already failed something, and now everybody's trying to pull your leg and try to tell you that, oh, you're probably not going to be successful this time, blah blah blah, blah. You just have to literally ignore it. Ask them about their relationships. Ask them about their life. Just let them talk. A lot of people, once again, they want you to be successful, but they do not want you to be successful more than they are. So if they have a wife that doesn't care about taking pride in her appearance, doesn't care to be feminine, doesn't care to make love anymore, doesn't care to talk anymore and appreciate them, but they are staying in that because it's so much mess to undo that all. And you had a bump in the road, you went maybe through hell. They were not with you in your emotional stroll through hell, but yet they have the audacity to tell you things. Let them share how good it feels, what is so great about their life, and just say, yeah. We have to at some point to realize that we don't need validation of people for our very personal choices. And people would always find something to criticize if it's different than their own. If you be settling, with a woman that don't care about you, that looks horrible, some of your so-called quote unquote friends will be like, oh yeah, yeah, you're a good man, yeah. But it's only because your life is no different than theirs. And I just want to encourage everybody, no matter, if you're looking for a foreign wife, if you're looking for some, I don't know, specific person, artist, holistic living, I don't know, belly dancing, whatever, nationality or culture you're looking for, trust yourself. Trust in your own experience, trust in your own heart. You don't need, a lot of times we share with people things to get validation. We're all guilty of this. Sometimes, we already over something, but we keep sharing on how much pain somebody caused us because we want that validation from the other person that, oh my gosh, you were treated unfairly. Oh my gosh, that was so horrible what somebody did to you. But the truth is, we are responsible for what happens to us in our life. And therefore, yes, it's a blessing if we have a friend in our life that is maybe a small group of friends or just one friend that is a true, pure, genuine person. This person would never doubt you or judge you. They just will feel you and understand where you're coming from and support you no matter what. The majority of people, they just so bored with their life and people who are, let's go from the opposite. People who are busy building their life, whether with a new wife, old wife, girlfriend, business, whatever they are doing, whatever they are building, they don't have time to criticize somebody, predict bad things, put you down back. Oh my gosh, you remember in 1999 you had said this, face to mud, try to put you right back and kind of devaluating all the progress you've made. And once again, you do not let somebody else put you in that place of guilt. When you stop moving, you fear paralyzes you because you think, yeah, really, I was, I traveled to Ukraine before. I'm already, I already done this. It didn't work out. Just so I would say about 40% of my current clients are going for another marriage. They love Slavic culture. Even though their relationship was far from perfect, there were many things that they had appreciated about that relationship. And therefore, they are looking for another opportunity to be married with a lady who has higher standards, higher class, higher, I don't know what else, some, I guess, feminine beauty and things like that, whatever it is. They going for that again. And I'm just making this video to say that I fully support for everybody to go for what they want. And there is a reason, don't you think, that if the person, tried the culture, maybe have had 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15, have somebody who had 17 years of marriage, but it wasn't quite right. And it would be so much easier, when, my clients, these particular ones, are in their late 40s and 50s and even early 60s. It would be so much easier to just give up and say, well, you know what, I tried it didn't work, it's because of this and that, we'll just do it for kids, we'll keep the faith, it's so embarrassing. Well, I think that while your heart is beating, while your heart beats, it's never too late. And I'd rather live in honesty that is not perfect. I would rather see somebody who is who does not have anxiety, just living in their chest because they are lying, to themselves and to others, and it's horrible. I've been through that myself. I have some friends who've been through that, and it's an awful feeling because on public you look happy, and nobody knows you need help. You're suffering, and then when you come home and the door closes, and the door is closed, you feel lost and you have nobody to talk to, even though officially you are with somebody. So I would rather see somebody going through the big change, doing something hard, but being real, being honest, being just being, than somebody who is experiencing extreme pain, discomfort, lack of connection, but on public they look like a picture perfect couple. Um, it's often that when we go through change and we get criticism, we think that we are the only person ever experienced that. But we are not. You are not. Nobody is. You're not the only person that experiencing pain. You're not the only person that experiencing doubt. You're not the only person that gets no support when they try to do something new. And we're talking about getting warm. We're talking about relationships, but it's really about anything. Sometimes you try to open a new business or doing something on the side, and people have no faith in you. It is very, very painful. But to withstand the critics and painful comments, one of the most powerful skill, it's to enhance your own validation of yourself. I know it's very tempting to look perfect, to look happy on public, and it's very tempting to just show, all the front stage, because front stage is usually good, and kind of discount the backstage. But the thing is, I talk about this a lot. When you wake up in the morning, when you waking up in your own environment and you feel harmony, I don't care what imperfections you have, I don't care what you don't have, but what you have is so important. It's you have your own support. You are your own biggest fan, and it's very easy to meet people who would connect with you naturally when you are just the way you are. When you play in a game to try to make somebody like you, accept your choices, accept your lifestyle, it's very, very hard. We yet to learn how to accept people and their differences. And for those of you guys who are getting very tough critics for doing things for yourself again, for giving another chance for your life. And I have audience in different ages. For some people it's just even traveling. I have a subscriber who he basically stopped talking to his family about his travel to Ukraine, because as soon as he starts talking about traveling to Ukraine, his entire family starts to say, wow, why Ukraine, why not Italy, why not Amsterdam, why not this, why not that. So I can guarantee you they've never been there, but yet they feel like they have the right to put that idea down, to cut the wings. And, I'm sure he doesn't have anything against, I'm sure he has nothing against Paris or London or Amsterdam or Spain, but he just had this dream to go to Ukraine. And even though his family, I'm sure, loves him dearly, sometimes you have to keep those things for yourself and make sure and check with you that that's what you want to do and do them. Because in the end, you might not be able to travel sometime later. You might have a different job or different financial challenge, or have a child on the way where you have to postpone some things for yourself. So we love our family, we love some people that are close to us. We don't choose the family, but being very careful about your dreams, about your aspirations, about your goals, I really think it's crucial. You will get a lot less criticism. Personally, I love journaling when I have some inspirational ideas. I love journaling or some thoughts. So you have to guard your inspirations, some things you're excited about, some things you want to try. You have to guard them. And when you get critics, you know, just try to imagine that you are, waterproof jacket, and the drops of rain just, jump out when the rain falls. Another my favorite thing to do is imagine that I am in a glass, like a little glass sphere, and whatever people try to say or do, it's like, just a noise. People always look for somebody who is different. They don't care about putting down somebody who is already down. So sometimes I get trolls on my channel who have know nothing about my story, and they come and try to tell some pieces, even though uh, they could not know even 5% of the truth, or for or even make any sense, any proof. But some people just feel that, oh, okay, you have the courage to make these videos, we're gonna make sure you stop doing that. So good luck. So with that being said, there are always gonna be people that try to find that sensitive spot and just shoot the bullet, or just try to hurt you. So if you know the person, guys, you have to realize that they will try to bite you, criticize. Sometimes you have to um, nourish and nurture your own sensitive spots with your own self. You have to, talk to a dear friend, the one that supports you even if the whole world was out, against you. Do some journaling. Talk to a person that done what you want to do and they are happy. Talk to a person that done things many times and they didn't work out and finally they did. Because when you keep going at something, it will work out. It's always does. It only doesn't work out when you give up and use all your time to complain and tell what's wrong with the world. Sometimes in this process you thought you want one thing, and then you meet another thing or a person, and you're like, oh my gosh, we were just living next door and here you are. I mean, our roads, our ways are, nobody knows them. Absolutely not a living person knows that. So I do understand that after you've been married for many years, it's almost like subconsciously you try to ask for approval. If you have a children with the lady you've been with, you try to see, oh, she will approve this, blah, 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 what the kid's gonna say. But remember that you are the judge. You're the only person that's gonna live with your choices. You don't owe anything to anybody. You owe to be happy to yourself. And those people who criticize you, remember, they lacking something, they're not doing something with their own life. Because once again, when you busy in creating some beautiful things, when you enjoying, planning your vacation, or you have a passion project, or you have a person you love, do you really spend time out of your day to call your friend and tell them how their dreams will not work out? People who criticize and say all these painful things are people who lacked courage to do changes with their own life. And even if everything you do, let's say, oh my gosh, I've never met a person that been creating beautiful life for themselves and it never worked out. I met people who were trying to do things and then they got discouraged. But I've never met a single person that kept going, kept improving, kept, starting to take better care of themselves, and their life became worse. Had never came across that. So just understanding the main thing about people who criticizing you is that they are not fully here. They are very unhappy with their lives. They have free time on their hands. Uh, they had not found their passion in life, and they want to make sure you don't find. So that's just for you to understand. And guys, sometimes we have to be our best friend. Actually, not sometimes. Always, you gotta be your own best friend. And hopefully, you have somebody close. You can always find more people to talk to that similar. And I'm working right now on creating an community for our inner circle, and we had the VIP club for 2 years. It was extremely um, supportive and wonderful group. Right now, everybody is a little bit on a different path, but we're still in touch, and I am working on creating possibly an alternative group on Patreon. I'll need some of your help because it takes a community to create that nice circle of people. So I don't care if it'll take me a year to build it up or 2 years. But if you want to know about it, let me know. And I'm going to get back to every single one of you who've been sending me emails within several days. It's a lot, but I'm very glad that things helping you. And if you need some help in person, let me know. Comment on under the video and share what are your tips to deal with negative people, to deal with Debbie Downer and negative Nancy's and sad sacks. That's my favorite expression. Came from the 10-year-old. Sad sack. So yes, tell me your tips, guys. How do you deal with it? What's your favorite? I just wanted to give you this talk. It comes from the bottom of my heart. A lot of times we spend so much energy to convince people that we are a good person, that we want to make our life better. Almost like we want to run after somebody who made a bad comment, or somebody we used to be in a relationship with, and say, no, you were so wrong, I'm a good person, look how well I'm doing. And that person is not going to give you that validation. You got to learn how to celebrate your victories and accept your so-called failures, because if you don't give up, they are most powerful tool to learn. For me, this past year was extremely powerful in terms of learning not from the books, but learning from real human experiences. So don't let anybody discourage you. Keep going for your dream. And I will be here waiting for your comments. Please subscribe so I can see you again soon. Thank you.